Can you imagine being married to somebody 22 years, basically giving your life to this person, and then they go and pull a stunt like this? Before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all have had a wonderful week. Hope everybody's doing good. So do y'all remember the Ryan Borgwardt case? As if that case could not get any more interesting, it actually just did. More details have come out and Ryan was recently sentenced. So let's talk about all of that. Before we get into it though, I did want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina. We just do things way more casually over there. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon's for 18 and up. And over there, we talk about more personal stuff. We go live over there. And there's a $2 tier that has more videos than here just on this channel. You can check out that $2 tier if you want more content. Just make sure you read the full about section and what each tier offers before you join. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Like to Know It. And Like to Know It is a platform where you can find links to a lot of the things that I use and that y'all ask about and that I love. Everything from skincare, makeup, hair care, clothing items, earrings, workout gear, furniture. This chair is linked over there. All kind of stuff that I want to link over there, I do. And all of those platforms are linked down in the description box if you would like to come and check me out. So back in November of last year, 2024, I posted a video about Ryan Borgwardt. Now, Ryan is the husband and father that faked his own passing while he was really traveling overseas to be with a woman that he met online. Oh yeah. And at the time, Ryan was 45 years old and he had been married to his wife, Emily, for 22 years. Now, I know a lot of y'all been married for 22 years and you wish your husband would go overseas and live with some other woman. But this woman loved her husband and she expected to spend the rest of her life with him, with their children, because they lived in Wisconsin together and they had 2 sons and 1 daughter. Now, it has been reported that they are now divorced. Now, as a brief synopsis, Ryan told his wife that he was going to go fishing on Lake Green, which was about an hour away from their family home. The last his wife, Emily, heard from Ryan was through a text when he said that he was turning his kayak around and heading to the shore, but he never made it home that day. All of his stuff was found in the water and his car was still parked nearby. Now, after his wife, Emily, reported him missing, local law enforcement conducted an extensive search effort to try to find Ryan. 89 days in total were actually spent looking for him. During that search, the investigators started digging into Ryan's personal life, and this is when they uncovered the truth. Ryan was not in any accident, and he definitely was not missing. He had actually planned this elaborate escape to be with a woman that he met online overseas.
A digital forensic analyst of a laptop that we were given through the wife, searching that, the disappearance that we have found that he was in some place in Europe. Through that forensic analyst, we recovered that he replaced his hard drive on the laptop. He cleared the browser on the day of his disappearance. He sank the laptop into the cloud on August 11th. He took photos of his passports. We found out that he moved funds to a foreign bank, changing his email and communication with a woman in Uzbekistan. He took out a $375,000 life insurance policy in January, and he purchased airline cards. Due to these discoveries of the new evidence, we were sure that Ryan was not in our lake.
Now, after leaving his stuff and his whole entire life behind at Green Lake, Ryan got on a plane in Canada and ended up flying overseas to be with this woman that he met online. Now we know more about what exactly Ryan did to get there, but we're going to talk more about that later in the video. Now, understand his family was in complete shock and devastation. I mean, even the sheriff was upset and asked Ryan to return home.
But most of all, I want to thank the family. I want to thank his wife. That is one strong lady. Whenever we called on her, she always responded and she gave everything that she could for us. I cannot imagine what she's going through and they're going through. It's really hard because one, they felt that their dad was drowned. A day ago, they found out that he wasn't. There's one last thing I want to do. And this is to Ryan. Ryan, if you are viewing this, I plead that you contact us or contact your family. We understand that things can happen, but there's a family that wants their daddy back.
You can only imagine his kids too. That like, what do you mean? Dad went fishing, never came home. We're looking for him for almost 3 months. And now you're saying he's alive somewhere, but he doesn't want to come home. I mean, you can just imagine. Then this video of Ryan alive and overseas ended up coming out because Ryan sent it to the investigators after they reached out to him via email to the woman that Ryan was overseas with.
Good evening, it's Ryan Borgwardt. Today, hello Matt. Today is November 11th. It's approximately 10 a.m. by you guys. I'm in my apartment. I am safe, secure, no problem. Hope this works.
But this was all that we knew at the time of my original video. So now let's talk about what's come out since then, because it is definitely a lot. Eventually, after spending weeks communicating with investigators, Ryan did come back and returned to the U.S. Here is a video of his first appearance where Ryan claimed that he did not have enough money to hire his own lawyer.
Sir, you do have the right to an attorney. You can hire your own. If you can't afford one, contact the public defender's office. If you do not qualify for a public defender, you can ask this court to appoint one for you. Do you understand those options?
I do. I called this morning and found out that I have to pay, so I can't pay for that money, so I'll defend myself.
Well, you do have the right to an attorney. You can ask this court to appoint one for you. You can have an attorney. You always have the right to an attorney.
Footage of Ryan's interrogation with the investigators has also come out. And from what I can tell, this interrogation happened right after he got back to the U.S.
I guess everything kind of hinged on me dying in the lake. If your goal is to disappear, then you would do everything in your power to try to disappear. Just the inability to feel like you could talk to your wife about some of this stuff. And maybe the complete hopelessness that you have in the situation that you're in. If you come to the lake and 10 minutes later you realize I'm not there, then you're not going to look for me, you're going to look elsewhere, and then it's going to be a real short trip to Georgia. And a friend somewhere on the other side of the world that sort of has a somewhat similar story, and then you just end up becoming friends. And then I knew at some point it was probably going to be found. So I guess I was doing every effort to limit how much and when.
Then Ryan went on to plead no contest to the misdemeanor charge of obstruction.
Do you have any questions?
I do not.
Do you understand what we're doing here today?
Yes.
Knowing all of this, do you still wish to plead no contest to the charge?
Yes.
And then Ryan was sentenced. But before we talk about what his sentence ended up being, listen to what the prosecutor said about Ryan to the court.
We now know that in the late evening of August 11th of 2024, the defendant arrived in Green Lake, Wisconsin, and put in motion the final steps to his plan of faking his death so that he could disappear from his everyday life of being a husband and father in Wisconsin and realized his selfish and self-centered plan to travel overseas to be with a woman that he met online. Months earlier, defendant began the extensive planning to execute this perfect plan to disappear from his normal life. He took out a sizable life insurance policy. Defendant transferred money overseas. He regularly communicated with the woman, professing his love and desire to create a new life with her. He reversed his vasectomy. He applied for a replacement passport, claiming that his original one, which his wife found in the family safe in its normal place, was lost or stolen. He researched and studied how to successfully disappear. He looked into how to fake a drowning and chose our beautiful lake, Green Lake, which his research revealed would make his ruse more believable. He believed that Green Lake's great depth would mean that a body would not surface. According to the defendant, his entire plan to fake his death, to devastate his family in order to serve his own selfish desires, hinged on him dying in the lake and selling his death to the world. His words. What defendant didn't count on was the great concern and dedication of the Green Lake County community and the dogged resolve of our law enforcement. Through the use of national and international law enforcement tools, 58 days after the defendant faked his death, this investigation pivoted. Law enforcement discovered that on August 13th of 2024, the defendant was encountered in Canada. Law enforcement would continue to dig and find that the defendant flew from Canada into Europe, where he then went to the country of Georgia. Once there, he began to create a life with the woman he met on the internet, getting a job and an apartment. The defendant continued to covertly monitor the news to ensure that he was successful in faking his death. He took extra precautions while overseas so as to not leave a digital footprint that could lead to his discovery. Once again, the defendant did not count on the determination and dedication of our law enforcement. The defendant admitted to his ruse. He admitted to the work he did, purchasing an e-bike, abandoning his vehicle, ditching the kayak on the lake along with his tackle box that had his driver's license in it and his fishing rod, stashing that e-bike and an extra battery along with clothes and money, riding through the night to the Madison area, where he dumped that e-bike in a park and later boarded a Greyhound bus which took him to Canada, flying then overseas to accomplish his goal.
So not only did this man find a new woman overseas, he transferred money overseas, he took out that life insurance policy, he got a new passport, and all of this stuff we already knew. But he also reversed his vasectomy, looked up how to fake a drowning, and picked Green Lake because he thought that it was deep enough that it wouldn't be suspicious if he did not float back up to the top. Can you imagine? Again, his wife of 22 years. We're not even going to talk about all of the man hours that was put into looking for him, including the sheriff being upset, the community, his church, all those people. His wife of 22 years. This man went and had his vasectomy reversed for some woman he met on the internet. And now we also know that he had an e-bike that he had just bought and stashed away and ended up riding it through the night and then flew from Canada to the country of Georgia, where that woman that he had been talking to online was. And listen to how much this prosecutor says is recoverable expenses spent on looking for Ryan in just the initial 58 days they were looking for him.
The total amount of recoverable costs in this case, pursuant to that statute, were calculated at $51,127.05. The state calculated this amount only for the time period beginning August 11th of 2024, when the defendant faked his death on our lake, up until that 58th day when that investigation pivoted, when we discovered that he'd been encountered in Canada, and then shifted that investigation. That was the term of the instruction. The total amount recoverable for the two departments that most actively were involved in the investigation were the Green Lake County Sheriff's Office in the amount of $35,522.73, and the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, $15,604.32. This is the total amount recoverable by the statute, but certainly not the total costs of all the work done by community and federal partners.
Then Ryan's lawyer and Ryan made a statement to the judge.
He's 45 years old.
He has no prior criminal convictions. He's gainfully employed. I think briefly looking at the Galleon factors, this makes sense. As to the gravity of the offense, it's a simple misdemeanor. Ultimately, Ryan cooperated. He turned himself in. Character and rehabilitative needs. Other than this isolated incident, there's nothing to indicate any prior criminal history. There's nothing to indicate that any Department of Corrections needs to be involved in any way, shape, or form. He's working. He's taking care of his obligations to his family. He's continuing his education. And finally, the need to protect the public, as the state has discussed. I don't think that he's a danger to the community. I think perhaps what he did warrants some punishment, and is why we are agreeing that the 45-day jail term is appropriate. So I think based upon all of those factors, this is an appropriate recommendation, and I'd ask the court to follow it.
Is there anything you wish to tell the court, sir?
I deeply regret the actions that I did that night and all the pain that I caused my family and friends.
And after all of this, Ryan was officially sentenced.
For the defendant and anyone else who is thinking about faking their death, if you persist in your deception, the longer you obstruct, the longer you are duplicit, instead of coming forward and admitting your mistake, the longer the penalty should be. The court determines that the appropriate time for the defendant to spend in the county he allowed his deception to continue. Therefore, the court sentences the defendant to 89 days in the county jail. The court grants Huber privileges, out-of-county service and travel, 60 days to report. The court also orders court costs paid within 60 days or set up a payment plan with the clerk of court. The defendant must submit a DNA sample. The money paid by the defendant shall be released to the sheriff's office and DNR as they agree upon. The defendant is entitled to 2 days of jail credit. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Attorney Johnson?
I don't believe so. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
I mean, the fact that he only got 89 days, morally we think it's not enough. But we also know that there's a legal system, and the judge saying 89 days to match the other 89 days. I get where he's coming from with that. What's he going to do with his life now? Is he going back overseas with his new girlfriend? So bizarre. And I don't understand. And maybe it's because I research a lot of this stuff, and I'm sure a lot of y'all do too. If you don't, at least you watch it because you're here watching this video. But how a person thinks that they're going to get away with this type of thing in 2025 anyways is beyond me. Like, you think you are so smart. Like, I got me an e-bike. I'm going to ride it through the night. I'm going to go to Canada. I'm going to fly from Canada. They're going to think I've died. So then that way I get to do, I left a life insurance policy for my family, so they'll be okay without me. But I'm going to go start a new family over here in Georgia, and I'm going to be a new man, like midlife crisis on steroids, and nobody's ever going to find out. What? Oh my gosh. Wow. People are delusional. Let's just say that. What do you think? I believe and hope and pray, but I really believe that his family is surrounded by people that love them, his wife and his children, their church, their community rallied around them, and I hope that they're doing okay. Does he deserve a second chance with his family? It's not for me to decide. I don't know him and I don't know his family. But what do y'all think? Just from your personal experiences, would you give your father, if he did that, or mother, a second chance to build a relationship once they got out of jail after 89 days? Your own family. That's what I want to know. I don't know if I could ever trust that person again. What, you're telling me you're going to the 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee? I don't know. Will I see you in 10 more years? Where are you really going? Weird. Very weird. I believe in second chances, but this one's a weird one. Let me know what y'all think down below. Other than that, thank y'all so much for watching this video. I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here, and I'll see y'all in the next video.